Yo, what's going on, guys? Today, we're going to talk about the post-trade deadline winners and losers.
Yes,
we're
sir.
going to give a little bit of our thoughts, more or less, on some of the trade deadlines deals that went on, now that we've seen them a few games into the season, I would say.
Yeah, trade deadline, it wasn't the best. We definitely expected more fireworks. But it was one of those brief situations, and a lot of moves were already made.
Yeah.
Like the Siakam one, the Ojananobi one, the Gemsada one.
I like the
earlier
bigger
in year.
moves.
Exactly. But even then, there was still a few moves that were made that were important. And even a buyout move was made not long after. So let's get straight into it.
Yeah.
With the biggest winners, I would say. We were working together that day, and I remember Alec came up to me like, the Knicks just got Bojan Bogdanovic.
It's funny, guys.
Burks.
Quick little story. You were talking to, like, this manager.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to, like, a super serious person at the job. And then I got a second that I was free, and this man pulled over me. Yo, he like whispered it. And in the moment, I couldn't really think about it, but after I found out they didn't even trade a first-round pick, I was just like, wow. Bojan Bogdanovic is a guy that contenders have been like begging for a minute. We have wanted the Lakers to get him, and now he goes to the Knicks with Alec Burks.
I think this trade fixes a lot of problems for the Knicks. I think it fixes the two biggest problems, and that is the backup power forward. Ever since obviously they traded Obi Toppin, they need that. Plus, they need a guy who's able to play with Randall. I feel like Obi Toppin really couldn't play with Randall, but I feel like Bojan Bogdanovic, he definitely can. You know, he has the spacing that they need, and he has a scorer off the bench. And they bring in Alec Burks, who's a guy who's kind of filling in that kind of Emmanuel Quigley role as a point guard. You know, this guy is tall, he can shoot, he can score, and he can play make a little bit. And that really adds a lot. He was great for the Knicks a few years ago when he was on the team, and he just adds kind of what they were missing. And now the Knicks really jumped up to a championship contender, I would say. You know, right now it really comes up to how much you trust Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. I know how you feel about that. So
Yeah, it's not that I don't trust him. I definitely trust Brunson. I don't really trust Randall, so it's kind of a mixed bag. But it's just tough for me to believe that a team that your best player is Jalen Brunson is going to win a championship. If it was somebody else, if it was somebody like, let's say, Stephen Curry, let's just throw a name out there, this team is so complete that I'm like, you know what, they might do it.
Yeah.
But no disrespect to Jalen Brunson, it's just to be the best player on a championship team, there's very few that can do it.
I'm not saying he can't. We just have to see it.
We got to see it, bro. And it also depends on Randall because they need that co-star. If Randall and Brunson both go into the playoffs and they play like the top selves, they might make it to the finals.
They might.
So let's move on to another team in the East, the Sixers, which I got to give them a lot of credit.
Yeah.
They've been making non-stop moves. Like when it comes to offseason, picking up by Khalil Oubre, Patrick Beverly, who they ended up trading, and now they get Buddy Hield.
Yeah, I mean, I think that pickup was great. Obviously, you add another shooter, one of the best shooters in the NBA. Probably going to go down as one of the greatest shooters of all time. People aren't really talking about that, but Buddy Hield's really like that when it comes to shooting. This is a guy that fits a lot of holes for them because he kind of provides that spacer that is really important for Joel Embiid. He has like a shooting guard that I feel like they really needed. And they also get Kyle Lowry. Obviously, they traded Patrick Beverly, that leadership and stuff. But I think Kyle Lowry at his peak, he might be even better than
You're gonna say that
than Patrick Beverly because I think the role that he had on the Miami Heat made him look bad because they depended a lot on him. You know what I'm saying? They depended on him to score. They depended on him to shoot, carry the offense a little bit. And I think for the Sixers, he's not going to do that. He's going to make Tyrese's job way easier. He's going to make Embiid's job a lot easier. And what he provides for them is an actual point guard, which they didn't really have. Obviously, Patrick Beverly's not really that. And Tyrese Maxey, he's learning. He's getting there. But this gives him an actual point guard to be able to get both of their stars involved.
Yeah, but Buddy Hield is a really good player. Like I was saying, one of the best shooters in the NBA. And moving a bit to a team that I got to talk about a bit. The Pacers trading Buddy Hield is a bit crazy. I know that we're talking about it before making the video that it was because they don't want to extend him. But trading him to a team that you're competing against, because the Pacers, they have Siakam. So now nobody can say, oh, they're giving it time. They're trying to win right now.
Yep.
They might legitimately go against the Sixers in the playoffs. It's just a big possibility. And Buddy Hield could be the difference between winning that series and losing that series.
Yeah, obviously, I don't know how the situation was inside the locker room with the general manager, with Buddy Hield. But I do know he's one of Tyrese Halliburton's best friends. They've been together for years. He's always been there for Tyrese. They're great friends. He adds kind of that spacer for that offense. He's really a huge part of that offense as being kind of like that. Obviously, like I said, guys, Buddy Hield's like one of the best shooters in the NBA.
They wanted to trade him, but to the Sixers. To
the Sixers and for barely anything. Yeah, for sure. We were upset about it just because you could have traded it anywhere else. I'm pretty sure if you would have presented that offer to other teams, that would have taken it, and instead of giving it to a rival.
100%. Now let's move on to one of my favorite teams, the Mavericks.
Yeah, probably the second biggest winner, if not the biggest.
Definitely, bro. They got busy. They got Gafford and P.J. Washington. We saw them against the Thunder the other day. Absolutely blew them out.
Yep. It
was just an immediate fit. Gafford fit in perfectly. And now you have Lively and Gafford. That Lively, yeah, he has been playing good, but at the end of the day, he's still rookie. He can have his moments that maybe he kind of gets played out of a series or something. And Gafford's similar, but he's just a guy with more experience. And I was good to have two options. P.J. Washington. You can argue that P.J. Washington is better than Grant Williams, who's the player that traded to get him.
Yeah.
And there was also rumors that Grant Williams was kind of rubbing people the wrong way in the locker room. Don't know too much about that, but if you're trading a disgruntled player or a guy that was having problems for a guy who's possibly better than him, that's a win.
I know they gave up a first-round pick, and a lot of people say it's a little bit of an overpay for P.J. Washington. But if you think about it like this, they only really traded one rotation player, which is Grant Williams, and even he was losing minutes. Obviously, yeah, like he was saying, the thing with rubbing the players the wrong way, whatever that was. Obviously, we don't know how that was, but you get a player back in P.J. Washington who can provide a different kind of look for that team. Obviously, this is a guy that can score in a few different ways more than Grant Williams. I think Grant Williams is just a 3-and-D guy. This is a guy who has a lot of defensive potential, and they talked a lot about it. That's a big reason why they got him. Obviously, in Charlotte, it's a bad team, so you didn't really get to show that off. But I think this is a guy that has a lot of defensive potential. I mean, you look at his size, you look at his build. And this is a guy that can play small ball center for him. They haven't really had that, and now they have a guy in Daniel Gafford who can kind of make up for Derek Lively, him being a rookie. And I think if you start both of them alongside Derrick Jones Jr., you got 3 really, really solid defenders with Kyrie and Luka. Man, I really do think that, and maybe we can talk about this in another video, but I really do think to me, they're a contender.
The sky's the limit for them.
I really do believe that.
I don't know. It still feels like there's something missing. But at the end of the day, Luka and Kyrie, bro.
I trust them a lot in the playoffs, man.
You never know. For example, I could see him going against a team like the Suns or the Clippers, or maybe even the Suns, because I feel like the Suns have bigger holes, and it's just them absolutely destroying them offensively wise. I know obviously the Suns are a good team too offensively, but you never know. But that's the series that I really want. Moving on, this is one that I put myself because I was kind of reading up on it, and I think it's facts. The Pistons trading Killian Hayes, waiving Killian Hayes straight up, and trading away some of the older players on the team.
I really like picking up Quinn Grimes for them too.
Yeah, exactly. Opening up for Jaden Ivey, who's a player that in the first season, at least at first, was being given a lot of praise, but recently he was losing minutes. A lot of people.
At first, now he's getting more.
Yeah, at first, yeah. And now he's getting the minutes, and he's played really good recently. So maybe him and Cade.
I love the Quinn Grimes pickup. We're not gonna talk about the Pistons too much, but I think the Quinn Grimes pickup basically adds a 3-and-D guy, a guy who can score, he's a great defender. He's a young player. He wasn't getting the opportunities in New York for whatever reason. But I think he's going to fit right in with Cade. He's going to fit right in with Jaden Ivey, kind of space out the floor for them. And that's exactly the player that they needed.
So next is the Raptors. The Raptors, this season, they finally did what we've been asking them to do for all, which is blow up the team. They traded Siakam. They traded OG. They traded
Dennis.
Even like pressure shooters. Dennis Schroeder, who they got, which is kind of weird they got him in the first place.
Yep.
And now they're moving on with RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and the other guys. They're going to be kind of bad. But at the end of the day, it's a direction, bro. It's a direction. This team has to be blown up. You're committing to your best player, Scottie Barnes, who made the All-Star game as an injury replacement. We're still.
I know. I'm also really happy that they got 2 guys in Ochai Agbaji, just adding to that guard depth. I feel like for the past few years they really haven't had many guards. And he's a young guy. He's shown a lot of potential. It was a little bit weird that the Jazz traded him, but we kind of talked about that a little bit privately to ourselves. It was probably like they tried him out for a little bit. They didn't love what they saw.
They had Kevonte George.
Exactly.
Talked about.
So, and then they also got Kelly Olynyk. That's a guy who can space the floor out. He's a great fit next to Scottie Barnes. And he's a guy that can even play next to Jakob Poeltl. So.
Yeah. And Dennis Schroeder is super random. I just put him as a loser. Because I just think it's funny that he's on the Nets.
Yeah, that's super random.
It's
funny he played great first game.
Yeah, he did. He's probably going to play good, but I don't know. I feel like Dennis Schroeder, I mean, he got the bag, and now he's just going to – I think he's going to get moved around. He's going to be one of those players that is just going to not really have, like, a specific place to be at.
I think for Dennis, we talked about this, I think he needs to understand that he's a six-man. Yeah. And I think if he embraces that role, he can honestly be one of the best six-men in the NBA because he's a great scorer. He's a really, really good defender. He tries really, really hard. He's not the best playmaker, but that's a guy that can.
He's passable.
Yeah, he's passable. He's just a really, really good fit in that locker room too. I feel like he's a good vet as well, and so I really think if he commits to being that 6-man instead of trying so hard to start, I think he can have a huge career. Really, I think he can extend his career a lot, and he can help out a lot of teams and perhaps even win a championship.
Yeah, man. And moving on, a team that we're talking about doing nothing.
Big ass
team did nothing, bro. I was watching a video about them. The Bulls. They haven't made a big trade since like 2021. It's been like that, and apparently they're not committed to keeping DeMar DeRozan.
Yep.
Which is just like, what are you doing? They talked about Alex Caruso being untouchable, which right now you could have got a lot for Alex Caruso, but it was a lot of teams that were begging to get him,
especially at the contract that he was in.
But if you wait for next year, he's gonna be an expiring contract.
Bro, you don't know if he's gonna get worse, bro. You don't know if he's gonna become worse. He's gonna probably get it. They're gonna extend him. He's gonna be on a bigger deal. You're gonna do that. Then let's say he gets injured, God forbid, because I love Alex Caruso. But what are you gonna do then? You couldn't recuperate anything.
It's just that him on that team just makes no sense. I feel bad for him. he could be a guy with multiple championships. One of those kind of like KCP, where KCP is. That's where it was Alex Caruso.
Exactly.
Was.
In KCP, we saw him in a situation like that in Washington for that 1 year.
It was for no reason.
For no reason. It doesn't even feel like that. That's super weird to me. But then he got moved to the Nuggets. Look how good he's balling. I think if Alex Caruso, for example, thank God he didn't. But let's say he went to the Bucks, like we've been saying for a minute. Oh my gosh, like to me, they damn near the favorites.
Like that, bro. And yeah, now they have cyclically been injured. That team's just gonna launch the ball with no clear timetable. Is gonna come back. Kenny, King of the Four Quarter, made a whole video about it, ranting that I'm pretty sure that's all Bulls fans are feeling.
Yeah, man, Karnisovas, bro, he came in with a lot of potential and he's done nothing. He hasn't even drafted well, which is something that this guy that Kenny was talking about. So man, you just gotta feel bad for the Bulls fans out there, man.
You just do, bro. And moving on, there's not much to say, but the Thunder got Gordon Hayward, a clear winner. There's something that shocked me. It came out of the blue. Yeah. At the end of the day, Gordon Hayward, good player. He's still a good player. He still has talent. I mean, we're talking about it. He's kind of like a better Josh Giddey.
Yeah, he's at everything. I mean, he's a good shooter. He's a really solid defender. He can play make. He's kind of the perfect small forward that they're looking for. I think they're already a really good team. I don't think it moves the needle all that much. It helps them out a lot, but I don't think it makes them like favorites or fat contenders. I think they are who they are. It makes them better. It provides a bet in the room for them, and that's great. But yeah, I don't think it moves the needle that much. But I love the move for them. I really do.
It's just more makes me happy that they're finally willing to make moves. Sam Presti has done a great job of everything, but a lot of people are criticizing him, saying that, oh, stop holding on to the picks. And finally, it seems like he seems to be opening up. And even then, he still has like 36 picks in the ball, which, bro, I think it's time to start doing something. Yeah, I think this team is close. They're getting closer and closer.
I think he's got to do something next year.
I think next year in the offseason, bro, you got to make a big move, bro. Like, you're literally right there.
Another solid winner that we got to talk about is the Celtics, man. I really like that pickup of Xavier Tillman and even like a Jadon Springer, a young guy. A lot of people were comparing him to Marcus Smart coming into the NBA and getting him for basically nothing. Got to give a lot of praise to Brad Stevens, man, becoming one of, if not the best GM in the NBA. I really, really mean that. I think he's done a fantastic job with that team. He's bought into this team. He wants them to win. He's making moves to help them win, and I got to give him a lot of credit for that because a lot of GMs don't do that. You know, he's
becoming just like one of the best basketball minds in general.
No, definitely, man.
Another reason that this pickup is actually important is because Horford, he's getting older, he's still good, and Porzingis very injury prone. Yeah. So having that guy there, she's a big body you can also rely on. Something that I wish the Lakers had. Moving on to two teams, kind of put them in the neutral because it didn't do much. They both picked up a player that could help them, but it's still up in the air, and they didn't. Well, it's just unclear right now how we feel about them. So the first one we're gonna talk about is the Bucks.
I'm really, really shocked that they didn't pull off any big moves. I know they had some things to do with it. Obviously, they had Pat Connaughton's contract. They had young players that they could have moved, and they didn't really end up doing anything. I mean, they got Patrick Beverley. I don't think Patrick Beverley is what they needed at all. He's a solid locker room guy. Maybe they needed that because the locker room's obviously the team isn't playing the best.
Yeah.
But what does he really solve for you? You know what I'm saying? He doesn't really solve anything. The defense, they needed a big wing to help out Damian Lillard. If they think that he's going to be that answer, it kind of feels like what the Lakers did. That the year that we got him, we just, we wanted him to guard wings and this and that.
Yeah, facts.
And stuff like that. I think that's stupid. I think the Sixers used him perfectly.
I think somebody like Marcus Smart, who, he's a guard, but we have seen him guard big people before. Alex Caruso. One of those players, all right, Patrick Beverley feels like, you know what, they just got him to do something. I mean, better doing nothing at the end of the day. And I think he is going to be... He's going to be more valuable in campaign for them because they don't need more offense.
Yeah, facts.
They did something. I know they for sure tried to do all that stuff. Yeah. There was talks with Marcus Smart. Also, they really wanted Alex Caruso, but we already talked about the Bulls no one to trade him. So, yeah, man, this Bucks team, it might just not have it. Which is unfortunate for Lillard's sake, but we'll see. At the end of the day, you can't count them out. Lastly, the Lakers.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I know they try to do moves. Trevor Lane,
from Lakers Nation.
From Lakers Nation, he was talking a little bit about how the Lakers try to do something. They try to get Gabe Vincent, Christian Wood, and the 2029 pick. But there was really nothing out there, man. There was a lot of moves that didn't really make us better. No trade is better than a bad trade. That's kind of the mentality that they had. And I think they kind of understood that Spencer Dinwiddie was going to be in the buyout market. And that's a player that, to me, fixed a lot of their holes. And it bothers me a little bit that people say he's not a needle mover. He's not a needle mover, but I do think he fixes a lot of the holes that they have. He kind of is like that Dennis Schroeder role.
Especially with Gabe Vincent being so uncertain.
Exactly. And he's a guy that... He can attack the basket, which is what they need. He's a point guard, a backup point guard.
And he's a big point guard.
And he's a guy he's a guy that can play with both Austin, D'Lo, and even the three of them together. He's really, really the perfect fit that they needed, and I'm really, really happy that they were able to get him. He's also a great catch and shoot guy on the super low.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about look at his field goal percentage this year, but it's clear that he did not want to be on the Nets. Best thing is that he chose to be on the Lakers. He wants to be on the Lakers. LeBron talked to him, and at the end of the day, you got it for free. bro, getting somebody for free.
I hate when people it's like people are acting like Alex Caruso was a free agent.
Like, we're talking about a 20 points per game player at one point.
Yeah.
And a player that helped the Mavericks get to a conference finals, the best season they had in a while. So at the end of the day, we put them in neutral because we're not going to start glazing them. Put them as winners. They definitely could have done a little bit more.
Definitely.
But with things stand now, they got something, bro. They got something, and now it's just up to them figuring it out internally. That's all they can do.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Give us your thoughts on some of these trades. Let us know. I'm sure we missed a few. Let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Please like, subscribe. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.
Peace out.